look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Not up.
16 Jay-Z isn't performing anymore. His goal is blood. You know who lit the fuse too? The 50 Cent. Absolutely. The strong player who has never given up may have truly gone too far this time. 50 flung fire, you see? Not just shadow. Jay and Beyonce's marriage. Secret agreements, strange control allegations, and leaked videos that made people laugh are all on the table. Every single thing does Queen Bee industry. And what if the wild tales of the 1950s are sparks of reality rather than smoke? Not your typical rap beat. This one, it is a personal matter. He isn't ignoring it now, Jay. He is headed directly for 50. Additionally, he went nuclear this time, even though 50 has been prodding the beast for years. He didn't merely criticize Jay's music. He basically argued that Beyoncé is the reason the man owes his entire career. That's a daring move.
Wow, so that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
In the Egregious podcast with Andrew Schultz, 50 went all in, suggesting that Jay's success stems from his ability to lock down Beyoncé rather than from talent or hard work. You're correct. Jay's empire, according to 50, is based on marital skills rather than music. Yes, they did joke about it. However, 50 wasn't kidding. Jay hit the jackpot by marrying Bey, he added bluntly. The wedding wasn't only romantic in 1950s terms, it was a strategic move.
When Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Not up. Trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at this, you're like,
but if you felt that was crazy, fasten your seatbelt because 50 wasn't finished yet. He played a film of Beyonce and Jay at a game, where BA appears completely inebriated, which has been making the rounds online. She's looking off like she's in a different place, hardly opening her eyes. Of course, fans may blame it on jet lag or simply exhaustion, but much darker in the 1950s. Bey wasn't simply exhausted, he said. She had been handed before the game. He claimed that was the true cause of her disoriented appearance. And he pulled out another clip to finish it off. He claims that this Grammys performance only strengthens the theory. Did you see the video in which Jay-Z repeatedly tries to persuade Beyoncé to drink? Like making a sincere effort. Observe his expression as she declines. There's more to that look than disappointment. Something else is involved. It is strange, quite unnerving. What made him feel so pressured about that drink?
Y'all didn't hear the beat. I heard the beat, but then the beat went away, and she continued to rock and sway. Sometimes when you're a musician, if she been in the studio or whatever, the beat is still in her head, and you know she can hear the song, you know.
And 850 didn't just come up with that concept. What others have been whispering for years, he is now speaking. This is where the darkness increases. The majority of people are unaware of the reported early struggles Beyoncé had. Some sources claim that she was being offered to influential people in the industry as part of the game before she even became Queen Bee. Sounds crazy. Next, check out the clip from UGK's Bun B. According to Bun's interview, back in the day UGK and Destiny's Child were recording in the same building. Pimp C considered approaching the girls only to say hello, but it wasn't a lighthearted occasion. Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, had a different idea than her smiles and fangirl enthusiasm. Not out of love, but because it would increase both his and Beyoncé's visibility. He wanted Pimp C to date her. Everything begins to pile up. We buried Beyoncé as if she wasn't merely moving up the ladder. From the beginning, she was being positioned. Matthew Knowles' scheme may have been foiled by Pimp C, but guess who didn't? Jay-Z. And it gets wilder from here on out. According to Jaguar Wright, Bey receives specialized training for the part she has been playing for years.
He ain't show up. So he had like 20 now. He had like 18 since he been down. He had one, bro. Hard knock life.
He was sentenced to probation for third-degree assault despite entering a not guilty plea. Here is the chronology now. According to Bey, she began dating Jay in 2001 or 2002. Consequently, she became involved when he was currently on probation for stabbing a man. She later wed him and had 3 children. I mean, really, who does that? With that kind of record? Most people wouldn't even text back, much less spend their entire lives with them. It was organized, unless it wasn't just love. Jay and her father struck a pact that advanced their careers. The actual kicker is right here. Women in similar arrangements eventually rebel when they begin to feel confined. Jay, I couldn't take that chance. According to Jaguar, he wanted more than just Beyoncé.
There's something so intriguing about that couple. Like, even though, like, it makes it more interesting because you don't know what they were talking about. Like, are they having an argument?
Can we reenact it and let's see what they were talking about?
Now, I told you I wasn't about to get any popcorn now. I'm just tired. I'm flawless, and I'm tired, Jay-Z.
But what about some juju beads? I like juju beads. They taste.
I mean, yeah, I know, but it ain't about that right now.
Whoppers. Well, if you don't do it, I'm gonna put you where Solange is at. You can't even see her.
Oh, really? It's like that now? Okay, so let me call.
Yes, lest you consider what transpired with Diddy and Cassie, it does sound like a conspiracy. The entire Beyoncé and Jay-Z theory seems less implausible all of a sudden, doesn't? It's more than just rumors either. Over the years, blind objects have surfaced that provide clues regarding BAS purported practices. One stands out in particular, and it's crazy. It characterizes a superstar who has it all: fame, beauty, a strong spouse, gifted children, and extraordinary worldwide success. The energy needed to balance everything, however, is said to be derived from a Class A chemical. One that's sustained.
There's a lot of our guys in there. There's a ton of Rap-A-Lot guys in the building. And Destiny's Child is recording in another room in the studio. Okay. And so Pimp goes in, they're like, Destiny Child over. He's like, oh, I want to meet them. They tight. He goes in and he introduces himself. And I guess Beyonce was kind of taken aback that she was meeting Pimp C. Again, this was before Destiny's Child was a worldwide phenomenon. And so he comes back in the studio and we're recording and hanging out, and Matthew Knowles comes in and he asks Pimp, can I talk to you for a minute? And so they leave out for a couple of minutes and Pimp comes in and he's dying laughing. And we're like, what's wrong? He's like, yo, Matthew Knowles just told me to f his daughter.
The depth of the crisis stunned even those who were close to it. People were surprised by her stuff, even though they knew she was cool with weed. Maybe it's not so shocking though, given her background. Jay's history is well known. He began his hustle, including dealing in the streets. Not to mention that rumors have been circulated about Beyoncé's own family. Roughly in the same sentence when discussing coping strategies and pressures that arise behind the scenes. It's way more than just old stories, Faison Love said in reference to Jay-Z's drug background. It remains a part of the story. Therefore, people would consider it unfortunate if Beyoncé also ended up sinking into that environment. Some would say it was written right from the beginning. Jay-Z has been upfront about his history, so it's nothing new to him. He didn't mince words when he walked through his former haunts, the Marcy.
You're saying the success is derived from the marriage.
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolade. Because he's no longer viewed as like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones, because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music.
Right, Jay got it for the music. Now, you didn't see. He deserved those. Those shit happens like this, right?
When the crack epidemic swept through neighborhoods in the 1980s. Jay, 13, entered the game by selling drugs to make ends meet. When Jay was 11 years old, his father had dipped out. He also held the block's street vendors in high regard, just like many of the children in his neighborhood. On the streets, you had to operate with integrity, Jay once remarked. There were repercussions rather than lawsuits if you breached your word. He intended to handle you directly. He picked up the rules there. No excuses. True loyalty. Here's the twist, though. Jay already knew the precise plan. If, as some are saying, he truly wanted to control Beyoncé, he was raised near it. He witnessed the power of chemicals. He observed how people became physically and psychologically trapped. The question then becomes, is there any real evidence to support any of that theory? This is where things start to get a little unsettling.
Trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyoncé's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyoncé to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough, because she just started on.
Walking side by side would feel more natural, she suggested. Rather, the energy, the spacing, and the position all imply control rather than comfort. They appear to be gliding in time as their lower bodies move flawlessly in unison in one picture. It seems pleasant at first glance. Beyoncé is grinning. Despite Jay-Z's hand on her, possibly even holding her back a bit, her expression softened. She's not even tense on her toes, simply stating, "I understand you. Remain near." It's a little strange, but not completely incorrect. It's just one of those things where you raise an eyebrow and proceed. Then there's another picture that makes people discuss a lot. After just one glance, fans realized something was wrong. Blanca Cobb, a body language specialist, also didn't mince words in her analysis. Her back and waist are not encircled by Jay's arm around her neck. It's not romantic. It is clumsy and blatantly possessive. Cobb described it in this way.
Relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires. There's no love there.
Is obvious even though we can't discern her exact emotions from her look. Jay exudes ownership with his body language. Yes, it might seem sweet to some, but more and more fans are claiming that it's giving something else entirely, such as Jay-Z treating Beyoncé more like a property than a partner. Furthermore, Bay's response to his touch doesn't quite shout comfort. Blanca Cobb, a specialist in body language, claims that Jay is the one who is constantly caressing and reaching. That's how he expresses his affection. She's just sort of putting up with it, though, sweetie. Their marriage was not doomed, according to Cobb. She did, however, raise an alarm. Not everything can be judged based solely on pictures. However, it is telling when one person consistently makes contact while the other seldom ever answers.
Yeah, Beyonce's on the books. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way. Y'all wish it what you wish it to stay.
Perhaps it's because their union is more complex than it first appears. Perhaps this is because she never really had a voice in the first place. Some people claim that Jay bought her. The true shock occurred when someone inside finally spoke out, even though it had previously only been a wild rumor. Her ex-bodyguard, this man witnessed it all firsthand. He wasn't just an outsider making educated guesses, okay? And the murmurs were genuine, he said. He not only stated that Jay and he had a contractual marriage, but he also supported the rumor that she was doing drugs. Gets really spooky here. Ron, the person who revealed all the behind-the-scenes information, was Beyoncé's former bodyguard. He is no longer there. He was throwing bombshells on the internet only a few months ago, and now it's gone. Poof! No goodbyes, no warnings, just stillness. And fans' theories are flying out of control. Ron may have died inexplicably. According to some people, he went into hiding, according to some, because he knew too much. He became a target because he spoke the truth. And if his remarks regarding Jay-Z's alleged control techniques and Beyoncé's substance abuse were even remotely real, then someone would undoubtedly want him to keep silent. The most absurd thing is that when you look at other stories, his statements don't seem so far-fetched. Beyoncé allegedly poisoned herself by taking too many 5-hour energy shots, according to one music producer. In an attempt to finish 6 songs in a single recording session, she had been up for more than 40 hours. Most individuals, according to the producer, would have slammed the brakes, passed out, and gone home. But not you, sweetie. She simply continued. She was already in a deep state, even though her body was begging to quit. Into the session's 3rd track. Beyoncé didn't flinch when the producer said he himself needed an energy boost. She continued to shoot as if nothing had happened. It was more than just commitment. It was survival mode on a whole new level. Additionally, it depicts a person repeatedly pushing themselves past their breaking point. And you know what came? Next, the producer was surprised when Beyoncé pushed herself over the limit. After the recording session, she had planned a holiday. She became ill, she pushed it over the edge, and her body crashed. When fans learned about it, some applauded and referred to it as next-level hustle. Isn't that commitment? However, a completely other picture emerges when you take a step back. It demonstrates that BA isn't scared to push herself too far and is prepared to use drugs to achieve her goals. While some fans believe the truth is more sinister, others say she's simply accustomed to that constant grind. However, doctors believe that years of pushing and dosing have damaged her nervous system. She is now unable to even function without it. There are far too many warning signs regarding this marriage, that much is certain. 50 Cent is out there asking the questions that no one else is willing to ask aloud. Is Beyoncé under duress? Is Jay-Z preparing to silence 50 next? If so, do you think that's unrealistic? Perhaps you haven't paid much attention to the list of celebrities who have abruptly left the limelight after crossing Jay-Z. However, what are your thoughts? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Click like and subscribe to see more astounding breakdowns. You won't want to miss what we have planned, so don't forget to ring that bell.